this for. We are now at the Clarence Campbell champion Montreal Canadiens. Oh, I forgot Tampa on our list here, by the way. So they're next. Who has Tampa?
I do.
Okay. All right. Montreal's next.
Yeah.
And that is me. I know this is going to be contentious because I went with 4D. And I just looked at it. There's so many UFAs available there. There's so many, and you look at who else is available. Like the only forward that I feel bad about leaving exposed would be Jake Evans. But I looked at what they were doing and how successful they have been with having such a strong blue line. I think they're going to try and keep that. So I have them protecting Jeff Petry with the no movement clause, Shea Weber, and Ben Chariot and Joel Edmundsson. And then up front, you got Carey Price with the no movement clause. So, and of course, he's arguably top 2 goalies in the world right now. I think you can still make that argument with him when he's on his game. And then up front, I've got Josh Anderson. Brian Burke calls him, as they call him, unicorn. You got to keep him. Brendan Gallagher's the heart and soul of that roster. You got to keep him. They just signed Tyler Toffoli. God, that must be my Canucks fan coming up. I'm not happy about saying that name. and then I've got Barry Kotkanemi as the other one. The big exposures that happen with that are Jake Evans. You've got Arturi Lehkonen, who's an RFA. You've got potentially Philip Deneau as a UFA. But as a UFA, I think it's a calculated risk to keep him exposed. You've got Jonathan Drouin, but I think he's on his way out of Montreal as well. And he got it. We talked about asset management. I think you have to start looking at what makes that team as good as they is, and I believe it's the blue line, and all their top end players are younger and exempt from this draft. So that's why I went with 4D. I looked at where Montreal is. You've got Suzuki and Caulfield that are the two big guys who are going to drive the offense going forwards. And they've got a lot of UFAs that are and players that need new contracts. So I think it's a lot of uncertainty. So I think you go with the certainty of having that top 4 and then adding a second-year Romanov to that blue line and hope that it can help you build on what was a very surprising but successful year for the Canadiens.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go by, when we just saw them play last night, right? So we're all very well versed in the Canadiens, and I see where Sean is coming from. Unfortunately, the draft protection rules here mean if you want to go with the 4D, then now you're leaving. I mean, on this list we've got Deneau, Armia, Lehkonen, and Evans all available for selection. To me, that's makes me feel a little uncomfortable. There's all some pretty good players there. If I were making this list, I'd probably go the 7-3 format and take a chance on either Chariot or Edmundsson being exposed. But I mean, I like the logic of what Sean's done here.
Completely understand where Sean's coming from, but I disagree with it. I think you keep Edmundsson, you expose Ben Chariot. He has 1 year left. He's 30 years old. Yes, he is a formidable defenseman who can throw down with pretty much anybody within this league. But you're like Tyler was saying, you're leaving a Deneau, an Armia, Lehkonen, Jake Evans, even a Paul Byron exposed. To me, those two of those three of those 4 players are more important than a Ben Chariot within that. And within saying that, I believe that you do have a Romanov that is going to be able to step up within that lineup and maybe help with the Brett Kulak, who can play in that kind of bottom 3 role within that lineup, help if Seattle does take a Ben Chariot, then they're able to supplement that within those two players. But it's losing a Joel Noel Armia, a Philip Deneau. I know he's an RFA. Both those guys are an RFA, but I feel like they are
UFA.
UFA. Thank you. That they're able to re-sign them to a deal that is going to be formidable for them, and a Jake Evans. I think if Jake Evans is exposed, he will be snapped up instantly. That is the guy that Seattle really wants to be available so that they can take him. So a Ben Chariot over those three guys, I have a hard time with that argument.
Yeah, I would go 7-3 here if I was Montreal as well, but I do understand why you do it. You don't, but I just think you want to at least take a shot at signing a Philip Deneau, and you really do not want to lose a Jake Evans, who, if you lose Deneau, he is going to be the guy that replaces him. So that I'd go that way, but I totally understand why you go 4-4 as well.
Yeah.
All right.